for the press, and we are recording you guys.
Perfect. So, what's up?
Back up, you look huge.
I am huge. That's how it is. All right, let's see here. To Faded, you've certainly come a long way as a coach of TSM by taking this team to Ascension in your first year as head coach. What was the biggest adjustment you made as a coach throughout the season? So yeah, it is quite a dream to make it this far, especially in my first year of head coaching. I think one of the biggest adjustments was understanding difference of personalities and being able to make a cohesive team within it. I think everyone comes with different styles, different personalities, different backgrounds, and being able to kind of create a brotherhood with all the players is kind of my number one priority. Because when you're in the matches, when you're in tense situations, being able to have the players kind of rely on one another is probably one of the biggest parts of the recipe for success that we had. So that was probably one of my biggest adjustments this year. Faded, what are the main challenges that LATAM teams present? The lineup teams out there, the Brazilian and the LATAM teams that we're going to be going against, they definitely have a certain style to the way they play. I think, especially playing all our matches and all our seasons against these the NA teams, we're used to a specific style, a certain way of thinking, and I think we got to be ready for anything. The good thing that we have on our team is that we're very adaptable as a team. We really adjust to different situations really well, and we've been challenged. I think everyone from the tier 1 teams to the tier 2 teams that we've been scrimming throughout the season, definitely kind of made us ready for this moment. Shout outs to Rita. They were definitely part of the scrim journey that we had throughout the beginning part of the season. They're a strong team, and looking forward to playing them, especially during this tournament. Okay, so I think it's you now.
To Poised, it's fair to say not many people expected TSM to reach Ascension after having a shaky season before a Split 2 playoff. How was the team able to improve so much during the playoffs to reach this point? I think the team was able to improve a lot to reach this point by just really dialing on practice and just trusting one another. Like our coach said, Dan, like we just put our heads down and just got the team chemistry to a level that it wasn't at before and built the trust that we didn't have early on to the season. And trust takes time to build. So whether it comes from playing games outside of the server, like ARAM to League of Legends or so, just really came together as a team and yeah, just really became friends and trust each other more than ever. Boys, you've had a long and eventful career spanning multiple years, teams and close calls, and reaching an international event. What were the biggest adjustments you had to make from the start of your career until now, and how do you view TSM's progression this year? Again, I think one of the biggest adjustments this year was just honestly building that chemistry. Like whether from other teams and now, whether you build it fast or slow, just the team chemistry is the biggest thing. And I know we've said it a lot, but just understanding when times get tough and knowing that everyone has each other's backs, you're just very confident within another to do what you're supposed to do. And when everyone's confident and believes in one another, you never know what can happen within a team. So how did I view TSM's progression this year? I think our progression was honestly shaky at first, like you guys said, but we really, really brought it together. And we improved throughout the entire year from split 1 to split 2, even from split 2 into playoffs. We never stopped getting better. Like we always put our heads down and kept working because we knew that hard work always pays off no matter what you do, whether it's your career, like in gaming and sports, anything. As long as you put your head down and you just keep working, you will like reach the success of where you want to be. I guess this is for both of us. How do we feel
Which
about
one?
the current meta?
How do we feel about the current meta?
I would say I think the current meta. I don't have too much. I mean, let's see. They clip it out, so they can cut it out. So
Yeah. I'll start this one off then. How do you feel about the current meta? I think the current meta in itself is interesting. I think there's a lot of shifts that have happened throughout the season. We've seen double controller comps on specific maps shift into actual double initiator comps too as well. I think that different regions have different play styles and different tendencies too as well. So I don't think there's a dead set, meta per map. Even the NA bringing out the double senti look too. There's just so many things that are more diverse. I think when it comes down to comp consistency, when you're going against teams, one of the biggest keys is game plans and adjustments, right? Everyone has their own styles. They have their own, ticks or tendencies that they like to do, and being able to kind of manipulate certain aspects of their gameplay is the most important part. So when it comes down to metas, I actually like the meta in terms of like how much like wiggle room there is in comparison to even like last year's metas. They were a lot more kind of stagnant, a lot more kind of like standardized. And it really comes down to, some teams are being a lot more creative with it, but there is like maybe like I would say 2 to 3 different types of comps that people really like to run across all maps, and just making sure that there's adjustments to those is kind of key.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I would say like that's kind of the beauty of Valorant. There's old metas, new metas, and sometimes the old meta can beat the new meta, or someone comes out and creates a whole different meta, like the double senti on a set that we were just talking about. And you never know what you're gonna expect. I think the biggest thing really is the game plan. So whether it's old meta, new meta, the meta now is just I really think it becomes a game plan. And yeah, it's the beauty of Valorant, man. You never know what you're gonna get. You never know. Boys, do you think you'll have to change anything to face Brazilian teams? I think from watching the Brazilian teams, I will definitely have to tweak some of the aspects to my game plans and what I want to do. I think the Brazilians are very confident players. They're very good. They love to be aggressive, so we have to be ready for that. I say they're probably more aggressive than any of the regions that I've watched so far. So, yeah, we definitely just got to be ready for anything. Whether we think that's not play that you're supposed to do or the right play, you got to expect them to make any play possible because at the end of the day, you still gotta shoot them in the head. So. Boys, what did you learn from M80 after the last 2 matches you played against them? I think the biggest thing about M80 is that they're very drilled and their setups work very well. And you can't just go blindly into anything. I think you really have to default and pace yourself to understand what setups they're doing because they switch their setups a lot. If you watch them, they're very versatile. They do a lot of different things. So just really taking our time up the rounds and just trying to figure out the setup will be the biggest thing. Well, that's it. Sweet.
Mhm.
So,
Perfect.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys.